Hi everyone. Like millions of people around the world, I've been glued to the US election as the drama's been unfolding. And at the time that I recorded this reflection, the race is too close to call between incumbent President Donald Trump and his challenger Joe Biden. I'm not even sure if we'll have a provisional result by the time this goes up on YouTube, and it's likely to be weeks until the final outcome is confirmed. Thanks to the marvels of modern technology, coupled with the fact that like many others in the UK right now, I'm working from home, it's very convenient to have the results page open in the background, automatically refreshed every 5 seconds, available for me to dip in and out when the urge grabs me to see if Biden has scored another 50 votes in Wisconsin. And to be honest, I'm feeling somewhat uneasy with my obsession with the outcome of this bun fight that resembles more of a playground scrap than a democratic process that impacts not only the US but also the wider world. In some ways it's a bit like arriving on the scene of a 6-car pileup. You know that the right thing to do is to remain focused on the road ahead and to keep moving, and yet somehow your gaze is drawn to the scene as though you simply have to know what is happening. Now, of course, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that this particular election is reflective of just how divided and polarized American society has become, particularly in the last 4 years. It almost seems that one's identity has become completely and inseparably intertwined with one's political affiliation. You can hear it in the words that people use. It's not a question of I support the Republicans or the Democrats, it's I am a Republican or a Democrat. Now, of course, that said, we've got no room to be smug here in the UK either. During the same period we've had the Brexit referendum, followed by a change in Prime Minister, general election, months of no deal, another change in Prime Minister and another general election. And less than 2 months before the transition period is due to come to an end, it seems that we're still no further forward in terms of whether or not we'll have a withdrawal deal in place. Like our US counterparts, our battle lines have been drawn, whether it's Tory or Labour, or Leave or Remain. Sadly, also like our US counterparts, friendships and even family relationships have been torn apart by who or what we support politically. It reminds me a bit of when I was in primary school, when we read Nicky Cruz's book Run Baby Run, which deals with his life amongst the gangs of New York City before encountering Jesus under the ministry of David Wilkerson. And while the message of the book was that God can change even the hardest hearts, our takeaway as 10-year-olds was to run around the playground like a horde of barbarians, demanding of our schoolmates, "Are you a bishop or a Mau Mau?" and then beating the snot out of them if they didn't provide the correct answer. But one thing that history has taught us, other than the fact that we don't seem to learn from history, is that we are prone to seeking out each other's differences. And instead of embracing one another's diversity, we use it as an excuse to cause division. Business schools love to put up billboards that proclaim that if 2 people are thinking alike, one of them isn't thinking. And it seems like hell hath no fury like one who encounters someone else who sees differently to what we do. In Mark chapter 12, the Pharisees are having a go at Jesus, just for a change. And this time the argument's around paying taxes to the occupying Romans. Seeing through their attempt to trap him, Jesus asks one of them to bring me a denarius and let me see it. And as they brought one, he said to them, "Well, whose head is this, and whose title?" And they answered, "Caesar's." So Jesus said to them, "Well, render unto Caesar the things that are Caesar's, and to God the things that are God's." This, of course, goes a lot deeper than whether one should be keeping on the right side of the IRS or HMRC, however. It's also about the things that we allow to divide us. And the reality is that politicians come and politicians go. In fact, this is a healthy part of any modern democracy. I've often argued that politicians are like babies' nappies. They need to be changed regularly, and often for the same reason. And yet whatever happens in Whitehall or Washington, and regardless of who occupies number 10 or the White House, we ordinary citizens are the ones who have to live not only with the outcomes of the democratic process, but also with each other. Politicians like to sow division because that's how they get people to vote for them. God, on the other hand, seeks to unite. So today my prayer is that, having rendered unto Caesar by doing our civic duty at the ballot box, Let us now render unto God by reaching out to one another as people with a common purpose, to live in peace and harmony with our fellow citizens in the countries that we call home.